Hi everybody, I'm Dan Donaldson, the creator of Urbanistica, a hyperlocal crowdsourced social networking tool that's built on maps. Now, I want to introduce you to Urbanistica in this movie, and Urbanistica uses neighborhoods to tap you into what urbanisti, that's the people that contribute to Urbanistica, say and do in the neighborhoods that they define. It creates connections between people using a range of different message types, which we'll look at, and most of all, it's about shared local knowledge. Well, it's also about exploring, and in this movie, I'm going to explore the west end of Toronto. But I'm not sure where Urbanisti have added neighborhoods and places. I have to get oriented. Urbanistica provides an orientation map, which is that little pane that popped out when I clicked on the map. And by relating the rectangle that shows the larger map's view, the gray outline of the city that I'm in, and the blue areas that tell me where the users of Urbanistica have added information, plus my little target, which is called my search point, I can pretty quickly get oriented. Now, every time you drop into a neighborhood, which those are those blue user-created shapes that you see, you can see the places in them that the local people who created them like, and what they say about them. If you change your location, even a little bit, you can get very new information. It's really, really dynamic because it's based on so many different points of view. The list on the right brings together all the places that all the urbanisti who've created all the neighborhoods that I'm currently in have added, and so it's changing all the time with my new location. And every time we change location, we might see different places, different neighborhoods, different people, every one of whom is local. Everyone is sharing what they know about the neighborhood that's most important to them that you happen to be in right now. And we can see, if we look at our list, that some of the places have been added by more than one urbanisto. So we can find out which ones are popular locally, what each person thinks about them. And remember, each one of these people is a local, so when we look at these reviews, they're telling me about things that they know about that are right in their neighborhood. Of course, you can share your local knowledge and tell others about the places, resources, and businesses that you want to succeed or that you want others to know about in your neighborhood using Urbanistica. Now, the ability to move around and get local perspective is very powerful, but the list of places can get kind of long. So fortunately, there are tools to make focusing on what you're interested in quick and easy to do. Every single location in Urbanistica has at least one tag, and Urbanistica lets you use those tags to find the things you want. Tags are always available to allow you to browse not just the names, but the qualities and attributes of the places around you. Multiple tag mode lets you create composite lists of the places with one or more tags that you've chosen that you're looking for. And the Cancel Tags button quickly gets us back to the full list. You can always use the text search to focus on particular tags. And so here, I've quickly found the places tagged with coffee in the neighborhood, and I can compare where they are, how many people in the area seem to prefer each, and what they say about them. And I did it with just 3 or 4 clicks and hardly any typing. Now, neighborhoods, of course, aren't just places, they're people. And Urbanistica connects you with the people in the neighborhoods you explore while maintaining privacy. The Urbanisti pane shows you each of the urbanisti that have created each of the areas you're in. Connections between people can be through personal messages, and you have the option of allowing others to befriend you so they can send you messages, and that's what this guy has done. I can click on that link and I can create a special befriend message. And here I could do that, but before I do that, I'll just take a look at his profile, see what he says about himself, and make a decision. If I send him the message, he'll also be able to see my profile and decide if he wants to accept me as a friend or block me from further messages or ignore the request. Let's take a look at someone I have befriended. So she's down here in the list somewhere. We'll find her. Here she is. Now, I sent her a befriend message and she accepted. So now, instead of a befriend button, I have a send message button, but I also have a block button. I can control the communication with her very easily using this, but of course I don't want to block her, so I'll unblock her now. Now, before befriending her, I checked out her profile, which told me a lot about her points of view, the social networks that she's on, so I can connect her through Twitter and so forth, her likes and dislikes through a series of personal tags, which we'll talk about again in a little while, and her locations, which are kind of like a personal tour of the neighborhood that she's defined. So one of the things that we saw in her profile were her tags. These tags are whatever you want them to be. They could be a band, they could be a political issue, they could be a book, a local politician, anything you can think of. Let's go back and take a look at them. They're color-coded so I can quickly look and see that my friend likes the band Cache. And she also likes the local club, Lula Lounge. I saw an announcement on Urbanistica, and we'll look at those shortly, that told me that Cache is playing Lula this weekend. So I've decided to take a look at her review of Lula Lounge. It's right here. And she shares her love of Lula with another person called Big Dan. After reading hers, I took a look at his, and I decided to check out his profile. He seems like a kind of an interesting guy. I could follow him later on Twitter if I wanted to. And it turns out that Big Dan also loves Cache. Well, that's interesting, but right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send my friend a message and invite her to the Cache show. So I hit the send message button, and it just takes a few seconds to type it in and send it to her. She'll get it in a minute or so if she's logged in, but she has to see it in the next 3 days because it'll auto-delete. Messages in Urbanistica aren't meant to be a replacement for email. They're lightweight, they have the same character limits that Twitter does, and they're just community chatter. They don't hang around any more than your phone calls do. So the message has been sent, and now it's in my list of messages. Now, another way that I use Urbanistica is to keep on top of my community. And to do that, I look at announcements. Announcements are kind of like the announcements you see on utility poles. They don't go to your door, or in this case to my message pane, but anyone in my neighborhood can see the announcements I've posted if they're in my neighborhood. And that means that as I move around, I see different announcements. They're a way for Urbanistica to talk about the things that are specific to their neighborhood. And as always with Urbanistica, it's based on your location. And if they get overwhelming, like locations, I can filter them using tags. For example, this one, Lula Lounge, which caught my eye, and as I do that, I discovered that it's Big Dan has sent an announcement with the tag Lula Lounge, which gets me more interested. Now, earlier I happened to notice that Big Dan and my friend Urbanistica both like Cache, but here's a much more powerful way to do the same thing. Using Urbanisti tags, I can find people like Big Dan and Urbanistica through their shared interest as tags define them, and in this case, in a particular band. You can apply this to local, political, cultural, recreational, or any other thing that can be represented by a tag or tag, and find the groups of people that share an interest. Now, I'm not a friend of Big Dan's, but he's turned on the open messaging feature of Urbanistica. This allows him to receive messages from anyone who comes through his neighborhood. It's kind of like announcements, but in reverse, and in fact, the two work very well together. I'll take advantage of that to extend an invitation to Big Dan to the same Cache show that I invited Urbanistica to. Of course, open messaging takes account of any users you've blocked, so it allows you to create a more open social messaging than personal messages. If Big Dan had blocked me, I wouldn't be able to send this. You can always turn this off, but if you do, you haven't provided any email or any other means to be contacted further, but it keeps the line of communication open while it's open. So that was Urbanistica, its messages, and some of the social networking and local knowledge sharing aspects it has. Let's review the main points we've been looking at. First of all, Urbanistica is about sharing and defining local knowledge. It makes it possible to learn about people and forge connections with them based on interests, ideas, and the places you both love. And you learn this through profiles, through announcements, which are your opportunity to put your voice out to a community that matters to you, through open messaging, which creates a safe way to extend your connections to others, and finally, befriending and personal messaging, which you can use to create all of these to create powerful, rich, and engaging connections with the community that surrounds you and with the communities you enter. Urbanistica combines the relationships you have to places and areas with the relationships you have and would like to form with others. Unlike many social networking tools, it's not just about reinforcing existing or first-degree connections between people. It makes it possible to reach further beyond the familiar. www.urbanisti.ca is our website, and we're going to be launching this service in July of 2009. We're looking for an initial beta group of about 200 users, so if you're interested, preferably if you're from the Toronto area, but really anybody should feel free, drop us a line. We're interested in your feedback. Come by the site and do so. My name is Dan Donaldson. I'm the creator of Urbanistica, and I want to thank you very much for watching this presentation. I hope the next time we meet, you'll be an Urbanisto.